Once again, my people, please welcome to the Daily Brief News. This is a developing international story that has sparked serious concern across Africa and beyond. Well, if you don't know now, let me tell you. US State President Donald Trump has issued what many people are describing as a fresh and dangerous warning to the Nigerian government, declaring that any future US military action would not be a one time event, but a many time strike. If you don't know the meaning of a many time strike, I'm still going to explain it for you in this video. Yes, Donald Trump said that any future military event in Nigeria will not be just a one time thing, like what happened in Christmas Day, just a one day event. But he said it will be a many time strike. And this statement from the US president is making the Nigerian government feel afraid, like it's putting them at a very hot place. Because now the Nigerian government are pressured. They have to do something quick. They have to do something fast. If not, hmm, Trump is not the type of man that bluffs. Trump does not joke. So now let us understand. Let us break down what Trump said. Let us break down what Trump said, why Nigeria is involved, and what has already happened, and what could mean for Nigeria. I mean, this is a very major and bold statement. Well, Donald Trump's comment did not come out of nowhere. Over the past few months, the United States has repeatedly expressed concern about insecurity in Nigeria, particularly attacks linked to extremist groups operating in parts of the country, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. Trump, speaking in an interview that has now gone viral, accused the Nigerian authorities of failing to protect Christian communities and suggested that the US may be forced to take stronger action. According to him, if violence continues, the response would not be symbolic or limited. Instead, Trump warned that it would be a many strike, not just one. Meaning that if the Nigerian government do not do something to still stop the killings of Christians, especially in northern Nigeria, the amount of strikes they will drop in Nigeria, the amount of bombs they will drop in Nigeria, it will not be just one, it will be a many strike. Yes, don't be surprised if the Nigerian government, if the US government is dropping bombs in Nigeria every day. That is what Donald Trump is trying to let the Nigerian government know. And at this point, the whole Nigerian federal government, all of them are panicking because now Donald Trump has placed them at a very hot center of the table. Yes, I mean, that language alone has raised alarms. That language alone has raised concerns, especially in a country like Nigeria, which has long history of resisting direct foreign military intervention on its soil. Now, let's explain this. What makes this warning even more serious is the fact that the US airstrike has already happened. Yes, what makes this warning that Donald Trump made even more serious is the fact that a US airstrike have already happened. And when that first US airstrike happened, even our Nigerian military did not even know. Yes, they did not know when those drones entered into the Nigerian airspace, dropped the bombs, and fly out. That is to tell you the power of the US military. I mean, on Christmas Day, US forces reportedly carried out airstrike targeting militant groups linked to ISIS in part of northern Nigeria. American officials described the operation as a counter-terrorism effort carried out in cooperation with the Nigerian security agencies. However, Trump framed the action differently. He claimed the strikes were necessary because of what has happened in Nigeria. Yes, Trump claimed that the strike was necessary because of what he described as the killings of Christians in a statement Nigerian authorities strongly disagree with. The Nigerian authorities maintained that the violence is not religiously targeted, stressing that both Christians and Muslims have been victims of terrorism, banditry, and insurgency. Are the Nigerian government right? Yes, they are right. Yes, the Nigerian government is actually right. It's not only Christians who are actually dying in Nigeria, but I would say Christians are the one mostly dying because we've seen cases of all this banditry and terrorism, kidnapping Muslim girls. Like look at the case of the Chibok girls, for example. They've entered into government schools in the north, take kids, and these kids are not even Christians. We've also seen cases of all these bandit and terrorists going into churches and bombing churches and all that. So it's not religiously targeted. Yes, the Nigerian government are telling Trump that this case is not religiously targeted. Well, The Nigerian government has reacted cautiously but firmly. Officials have retaliated that Nigeria is capable of handling its internal security challenges and that any cooperation with foreign partners must respect Nigeria's sovereignty. That is what the Nigerian government said. They said they are capable of handling these internal security challenges. They are capable. You've not solved the problem since 2012. Yes, I mean, back in 2012, that was when insecurity was at its peak in Nigeria. I mean, we know what happened in 2014 with the case of the Chibok girls. I mean, since 2014 up to now, you've not solved insecurity problem, and you are here telling Donald Trump that you are capable. Are you just saying this because you don't want you don't want Trump to do what he said? Yeah, I mean, are you just saying this because you don't want Trump to do what he said? Well, there have also been rejected claims that the country is experiencing an organized religious genocide, describing the crisis instead as one driven by terrorism, criminal gang, and economic instability. Security analysts in Nigeria argue that framing the crisis purely as a religious issue is not only misleading but dangerous, as it risks inflaming division in already fragile environments. Despite this, Nigeria have said it remains open to intelligence sharing and international cooperation, but not threats. Yes, the Nigerian government said that we are open for cooperation and intelligence sharing, but threatening our sovereignty is not an option because everybody knows Donald Trump. This man can be stupid at times. Yes, he can start laying threats to the Nigerian government, and that's why the Nigerian government is making it clear that we can cooperate with you. We can share intelligence on how to combat this insecurity, but threatening our system of government, threatening our sovereignty is not an option. Well, Trump remarks have also triggered reactions within the United States itself. Some US lawmakers have echoed his those stance, warning Nigeria not to test America's resolve. They are warning the Nigerian government not to test America patience, like not to test them. Others, however, have cautioned against aggressive rhetoric, arguing that repeated military strike could destabilize West Africa and worsen anti-American sentiment. Human rights groups have also raised concern, warning that foreign military actions, if not carefully coordinated, could lead to civilian casualties and long-term consequences. Across Africa, observers are watching closely, seeing this as a test case for how powerful nations engage with developing countries under the banner of security and human rights. So, what does all this mean for Nigeria? What does all this mean for Nigeria? That is the question that everybody is asking. First, it places Nigeria under intense international scrutiny at a time when the country is already battling economic pressure, insecurity, and political uncertainty. Second, it raises serious questions about sovereignty. Who ultimately controls military actions within Nigeria's border? Third, it risks reshaping Nigeria-US relationship, which have historically been built on diplomacy, trade, and security cooperation rather than open threats. Experts warn that repeated strike, if they occur, could set a precedent that Nigeria and other African nations may find difficult to reverse. At the same time, it also puts pressure on the Nigerian government to demonstrate visible progress in tackling insecurity. Well, in summary, this is more just than a headline. Donald Trump warning of many times strike against the Nigerian government signals a dangerous shift from diplomacy to intimidation. Nigeria insists it is fighting terrorism without religious bias and that its sovereignty must be respected. The world now waits to see whether this remains a war of words or escalates into something far more serious. But one thing is clear. Now, let me tell you, one thing is clear. How Nigeria responds, both diplomatically and military, could shape the global standings for years to come. So, what do you guys think? Yeah, what do you think about Trump warning? Is it just justified pressure or an unacceptable threat to the Nigerian sovereignty? Drop your own thoughts in the comment section because I'll be reading them and trying to know more concerning this. If you found this news helpful, please like the video, tap the subscribe button, and subscribe for more in-depth political analysis and breaking news updates. Once again, thank you for tuning in to the Daily Brief News.